Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by Magic Spoon. Childlike cereal for grown-ups because it's got 13 grams of protein and 0 grams of sugar. Guys, it is absolutely delicious and it's actually good for you. Get back in the breakfast game with Magic Spoon at magicspoon.com/bears. That link will get you $5 off. It is absolutely delicious. Get going. magicspoon.com/bears. Let's get into today's Bears Rumors Roundup. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Justin Fields, is he getting first-team reps this week? Yeah, for Smoking Jays, bear down because it is happening. In fact, it has already happened as the Bears morning practice has already taken place. Matt Nagy said at his press conference this morning that, hey, it'll be valuable to get Justin Fields some reps with the ones moving forward as well. He did say Andy Dalton is still the starter. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But, hey, after Justin Fields did what he did in the preseason opener, it just makes sense to get him some reps behind the first-team offensive line with the first-string wide receivers. A-Rob, Darnell, Mooney completed passes to both those guys today because sooner rather than later, he's going to be throwing to those guys. So to build that chemistry, to get those reps, that is absolutely valuable. He quite frankly needs work with the ones. There's no doubt about that. You don't want him, whenever he makes his debut in the regular season, to have not gotten any reps with the first-team offense. That's just a bad idea. That would be malpractice if Matt Nagy didn't give Fields any work with this first-team offense, even if Dalton is still the starter at this point in time. I'm still salivating at what we saw in the preseason opener against the Dolphins. Started a little slow, but in that third quarter when he went 8 for 9, he was tremendous. 14 of 20 overall, 142 yards. 2 total touchdowns, no turnovers, 33 rushing yards as well. He was calm in the pocket. He showed off the mobility. The arm strength was on display. He was, as advertised, against the Dolphins, a very good defense, even with some of those second stringers in there. So, hey, get him first-team reps, get him some chemistry with the ones. I think that is a win-win for everyone involved. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next couple of weeks. Hey, if you're a Fields guy, you want him to start. If you just are excited about him, whether you want him to start week 1 or not, like the video. I'm amped, I'm psyched, I'm fired up. Like this video if you're hyped for Justin Fields and how he's looking so far. Andy Dalton, still the starter. I just alluded to it. Yeah, for Smoking Jays. Andy Dalton's QB1. That's not going to change after one preseason game for Justin Fields. But Matt Nagy did mention, like I said, he's going to give Fields QB1 reps in practice. But he also maintained, hey, this is not a competition. Dalton's the starter. Fields is the backup. Now, he can't say that forever if it continues to progress the way it has, but he did dive into deep detail with Peter King of NBC Sports before the preseason opener, saying, we're going to do what's best for the Bears long-term and what's best for Justin Fields long-term. Here's what he had to say, and I thought this was very, very interesting, so stay with me here. If we play Justin to satisfy our needs and not do what's best for Justin and the Chicago Bears, we're going to ruin Justin and hurt the Bears. We need to do what's best for the Chicago Bears, not only right now, but we want this to be something that lasts for 15 years, not 2 years. See what I'm saying? I'm going to do what's best for Justin Fields, not for Matt Nagy. People can say the save your job deal. Let me tell you how much I care about that part, okay? I don't. When you start doing things for yourself, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. I'm not letting that happen. We are going to develop Justin right, and we're sticking to it. I completely respect this from Matt Nagy. He's saying, hey, maybe Justin Fields is the more exciting guy. Maybe he could even win more games early on than Andy Dalton. That could be possible, but if I don't think that's the right thing for him in his long-term future, I'm not going to do it. If I get fired because we go with Andy Dalton for too long and we don't win enough games, so be it, but I think Justin Fields needs to develop the right way, and if that means he's not the week 1 starter, that's going to be what we're going to do. Now, that could change, and I think that is changing a little bit as Fields continues to progress and look comfortable, but he's not just going to throw Fields in there for his own pleasure and because it's the exciting thing to do. He was on that staff with Mahomes and Alex Smith. Now, I don't think it's going to be a full season of Justin Fields sitting like it was for Patrick Mahomes, but he's not going to rush things, and I completely respect doing what's best for his rookie quarterback and not for himself, even though he knows he's at least a little bit on the hot seat. Real quick, and we'll talk about Dalton versus Fields a little bit more in a little bit. What did you eat for breakfast this morning? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Also, just let me know what your breakfast of choice normally is because, hey, it's the most important meal of the day. If it wasn't Magic Spoon, that is your mistake. I crushed a bowl of it right before this video, just wrapped it up during the intro of this video, a little peanut butter flavor there. This cereal is fantastic, guys. It's got 13 grams of protein, only 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar. I had to cut out mainstream cereal because I've been chopping some weight recently, but I got back into the cereal game with Magic Spoon because this stuff is fantastic. It's healthy, it's delicious, and it's a breakfast replacement. I mean, I had to cut out breakfast completely for a few months, which was a bummer because that's really the energy I need to do these videos just for you guys. Get $5 off at magicspoon.com/bears. The cereal is yummy. It tastes like those sugary cereal you've been eating your entire life, except for there's 0 grams of sugar whatsoever. It's healthy. It's delicious. It's childlike cereal for grown-ups. Get going. magicspoon.com/bears. Back to Fields versus Dalton. While I respect Nagy and what he's saying and how he wants to handle this the right way, you can't ignore his progress. The guy has clearly made huge strides just in the last few weeks. Remember the first couple of practices at training camp? Didn't look that comfortable, dropped a few snaps, threw a couple of picks. Since then, though, he's been awesome, and he's gotten better every single day. We just saw him play in a game against an opponent for the first time. Looked pretty good. I gave him like a B+. I thought he was solid overall. Now, should Andy Dalton be the starter at this point in time? I'm fine with that. I'm indifferent either way, but I think it would be naive if Dalton's not playing that well early in the season to just wait on Justin Fields. If he continues to progress and Dalton is struggling and the Bears aren't winning, you got to make a change. So it's really going to be up to Dalton early on this year to win games and to play well. Otherwise, number one, he's coming very, very soon. So how about this? I've set the over-under at 3.5 starts for Andy Dalton during the regular season. Let me know what you guys think. Type O for over 3.5 starts. Type U for under 3.5. Week 4 against Detroit, that kind of feels right about Justin Fields taking over. Let me know O for over or U for under. Make sure you subscribe to us here at Chicago Bears Now because we're going to continue to bring you the latest Bears news and rumors throughout the preseason and on to the regular season. The link is down below, youtube.com/Bears Now. If Justin Fields gets named the starting quarterback, I promise you guys we're going to be breaking it down here on this channel. The season is almost here. We had our first preseason watch party last week. We'll do that again this week for the Bears' second preseason game. You can only find it right here, youtube.com/Bears Now. Khalil Herbert, is he impressing Matt Nagy and the coaching staff? Hey, it's a heavy smoking Jay type of show. What can I say? Jay Cutler's back on Twitter. He's inspired me. Let's talk Khalil Herbert here. Here's a quick quote from Matt Nagy on him. He's really caught my attention. He's very, very smooth. You can see the burst that he has. I just really like where he's at right now. And Khalil Herbert, hey, he got good reps against the Dolphins. 6 carries, 38 yards. He also had a couple of catches as well. Had a kick return, got used in a multitude of ways, which is kind of what the Bears have pitched to us. He's kind of a dynamic player that can do a little bit of everything. He deserves a role on this football team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think he can be the primary kick return. I think he can get involved in the offense as well. And I don't know who he's taken snaps away. I think David Montgomery is going to be your primary runner, but Herbert showed off the hands on Sunday. I know Damian Williams is a solid vet. We'll see when Tariq Cohen comes back. He's still on the PUP list, but all 4 of those guys, the top 3 and Herbert, are worthy of getting touches. It's up to Nagy and the staff to get all of these guys involved because Herbert continues to impress. He was an explosive running back at Virginia Tech, showed off the wheel, showed off the wiggle in that first preseason game at over 6 yards per carry. I was impressed. Nagy's impressed. Hey, you got to play the best players, and if Herbert's better than some of those other backs, you got to get him out there. Who will be RB2 for the Chicago Bears? Type W for Damian Williams, type C for Tariq Cohen, type 8 for Khalil Herbert. Obviously, once all of these guys are healthy is what I'm shooting for here because Cohen is still out. Who will be the second most impactful running back on this football team? All right, real quick, Allen Robinson on the NFL Top 100 list, which leaves a lot to be desired, if we're being honest. He's number 87 on that list, and I was like, okay, let's see how many receivers are in front of him. And by the way, they haven't even revealed the top 40 yet. Here are the guys from 41 to 100 at wide receiver. Jarvis Landry at number 94, Corey Davis at 91. You're telling me there's only 3 players gap between Allen Robinson and Corey Davis in the NFL? That's disgraceful. Chris Godwin, A-Rob's better than him. He was better last year. Adam Thielen, okay. Tyler Lockett, he's too high. He should not be at 76. Thomas didn't even play last year. Calvin Ridley had a really good year last year, but he's only done it for 1 year basically at that level. He's 22 spots ahead of A-Rob. I firmly disagree with that. A.J. Brown, he's been great early on in his career. I'm okay with him being up there, but I think A-Rob should be as well. Keenan Allen, I think him and A-Rob are very similar. Justin Jefferson, great rookie year, but he's done it for 1 year. And then Mike Evans barely scratched 1,000 yards last season. The NFL Top 100 list is a joke. 9 receivers ahead of A-Rob, and we're not even into the top 40. We haven't even seen Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, some of these other dudes yet. I don't get it. I just, I don't know why we continue to take this list seriously, but hey, they've gotten me to talk about it, so I guess it's a pretty effective list at the end of the day, even though it's a bad list at the end of the day. What do you guys think? Is Allen Robinson a top 10 wide receiver? Type Y for yes, type N for no. He's put up top 6 numbers the last 2 years with Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles and Chase Daniel, so I'm going to type my Y for yes, but hey, maybe you disagree. Get your votes in, and we'll see you tomorrow for our live show, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central, here on Chicago Bears Now.